Previously on The Well-Rounded Dude.
I'm going to show you my physical media collection, my steelbook collection, and box sets. If you guys are in the Scream, definitely pick up this box set. We have got mostly 4K, Halloween 2 on 4K, the Dark Knight trilogy. You cannot go wrong with John Wick. Everybody should check out Trick or Treat, Evil Dead, the 2013 remake. Well, here it is on DVD, and the extended edition on DVD. Hey guys, welcome back to The Well-Rounded Dude. My name is Chris. On this channel we cover a whole bunch of topics. Like last week we covered my physical media collection. That was only part 1, this is part 2. So if you're interested in movies, physical media, pop culture, this is the place to be. Drop a like, click subscribe. We're a young channel trying to grow. Greatly helps us out. And without further ado, here comes part 2 of my physical media collection. Let's talk about Vacancy with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. Kind of forgettable, not bad. Kind of like The Strangers before The Strangers came out. I think this was released about a year beforehand. Interesting movie. Be sure to check it out. Next one. Well, we kind of already talked about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. This is another copy I'm surprised I forgot I had. Another 2-for-1 pack. My Bloody Valentine and April Fool's Day. I watched the original My Bloody Valentine. It's definitely a different movie than the remake that we were talking about with Jensen Ackles. I never watched April Fool's Day. I intended to and just never got around to it. Might have to do that here coming up soon. The Omen. This was the remake with Julia Stiles and Liev Schreiber. It's not bad. It does have a lot of intense moments in it. Definitely give it a watch if you've seen the original, but I think the original is still superior. One Missed Call. Honestly, I don't remember anything about this movie. I might have to check it out again, but you know, looks like another one of those Asian releases, Asian remakes. Next we have The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar, one of another Asian horror remake that they did in America. I have never seen the Japanese originals, but I did enjoy The Grudge. The Grudge is pretty good, pretty creepy. It's just something you gotta see. It's one of the better American remakes of the Japanese film. The Grudge 2. This one has a cool twist ending. It might be something you want to skip, but not necessary. It's not as good as The Grudge. And plus, Sarah Michelle Gellar sadly dies in it, and that makes me sad. When a Stranger Calls. This is a remake. This is pretty good. This isn't like a straight up gore fest. This is, you know, kind of like classic suspense. So you're not going to get like a lot of blood in this, but it is pretty creepy. The Hitcher. This is the remake of The Hitcher. You can probably skip this one, to be honest. Sophia Bush is in this. It's a little bit more graphic than the original. I would say, if anything, go with the original. April Fool's Day. I got this from Big Lots. Do you see that price tag? It's the remake of the movie I haven't seen, and I haven't seen this one either. So I got to get on that one of these days. Captivity. I did see this. I just haven't watched my copy. This is okay. There's better movies out there. I'm not going to waste too much time on it. The Strangers. This is a classic, in my opinion. If you have not seen The Strangers yet, you need to do so. This is another movie that you should be watching alone in the dark. For sure. I'm kidding. You're going to be scared. Kane in See No Evil. This wasn't bad. I mean, considering it's, WWE, another wrestler in a movie that they tried to make a movie star. It's not bad. It's very cool. I happen to like the sequel better. I don't own the sequel, but it's definitely one to check out. It's pretty cool. The Forsaken. This didn't get a lot of love when it came out. It's a vampire movie, a little bit different. It's got Kerr Smith in it, who was popular at the time for Dawson's Creek, and the other boy to the right of the girl that I can't think of. He was on Roswell at the time. I can't think of his name, but it was an interesting vampire movie. Had some pretty cool world building. Surprised they didn't do a sequel. I mean, I guess I kind of understand why, but there was enough world building it could have done it. The Last House on the Left is a remake. This also dives into some adult situations. It's one of those horror movies that could happen in theory. If that's your kind of thing, give it a shot. But it's got some heavy subject matter. I Know Who Killed Me. So Lindsay Lohan. There's not much to say about this movie. It was pretty bad. I think it's another one that I picked up because it was cheaper to buy than it was to rent. And yeah, it is what it is. The Descent. I recommend everybody see The Descent. It's a British horror movie about some friends that go spelunking in a cave, get trapped, and find that there's some creatures there that are albino and try to hunt you down and kill and eat you. It's a great movie. The ending is kind of heartbreaking, but definitely check it out. They did make a sequel. Haven't seen it yet. Now that's going to take care of all of my horror movies on DVD. We're moving on to some of the superhero movies I have. And of course, we have 1989's Batman. What can I say? I love this movie, as you can imagine I would. It's Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson. You should know what it's about. You need to see it. And its sequel, Batman Returns, one of my favorite movies. Just a classic with Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer. One thing I did want to point out too is some of these, and I probably should have pointed out when I came across them originally, but some of these movies in the cardboard cases, I don't know if you can tell so much with this one, but Warner Brothers is replacing some of these if you have disc rot. Disc rot is a real thing, although a lot of people hype it up. It's usually the people who are against physical media and pro streaming. You can probably see it a little bit better if you know what I'm talking about with these cardboard DVD cases. It's a little bit hyped up. It is a real thing, but it's not as serious and doesn't affect everybody as much as people make it out to be. What happened was Warner Brothers, in the early days of DVD, was producing them in a subpar factory, and it's really only the ones in these cardboard cases that are affected. And they are replacing them now or offering like replacements. So I just wanted to point that out. But moving on, Batman Forever. This is when past the twilight of the Bat franchise. Still a better movie than Batman and Robin. I will say, as much as I love the Batman movies, and as much as Batman and Robin was a disappointment, and Forever too for that thing, we've never had a bad Batman actor, in my opinion, until Robert Pattinson. So, take that with what you will. Next up, we have Superman Returns with Brandon Routh. This movie gets a lot of hate, for not having a lot of action. One thing that is cool is I love the speech that he has with Lois when he's flying above the city and telling her, "I can hear everything." Like, that's a great speech. It's really Superman-esque. Let's see, Blade, the original Wesley Snipes. Now that I got the 4K, I'm not too worried about this. We already talked about Blade before. Blade 2. Blade 2 is one of my favorite movies. I think it's my favorite out of the trilogy. I'm really hoping they do a 4K release this year. I think it surpasses the original in every way. I mean, I think the bad guys, the vamps that, I forget what they call them. I think they're Reapers. They're much scarier. It was just a great movie all the way around. And I remember going to see this when it came out, like opening night. Dating myself, that came out in 2002. Blade Trinity, definitely some issues on set. Wesley Snipes' last time as Blade, unfortunately. Well, until Deadpool and Wolverine. But I think they should make another one. I think he would be great. Like, forget the dude from Luke Cage. Let's have Wesley Snipes come back. Let's slide this over a little bit. We got Daredevil. I like Daredevil. It gets some hate. But it was good. Ironically, I always didn't understand the amount of hate it got, like, especially towards the mask. Like, people hated the mask. Like, why does he have eye holes? And it's like, well, Daredevil has eye holes in the comics. It's what he does. But not a terrible movie. I liked Elektra as well. I know a lot of people didn't like that either. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it. And, is it 100% comic book accurate? No. But what comic book movie is? Fantastic Four. I don't really love Fantastic Four, to be honest. It's what superheroes do on their day off. This was not exactly comic book accurate, but they got the hijinks between the Thing and Johnny Storm down pretty good. But I did enjoy Rise of the Silver Surfer a little bit more. I know Galactus, he's not a Cloud in the comics. He's a Cloud here. But I like the message. I thought it was fun. It seemed to go quicker. It is shorter than the original, but it goes quicker. Ghost Rider is another one that was on sale. Sometimes I bought these used where it was like you buy 5 movies, you get them for $20 or something like that from like a local video store, and this was one of them. It was sometimes some of these were just like default choices. Not great. Had some cool spots in it, but not the best comic book movie, but loads better than the sequel if you've seen that. The Punisher with Thomas Jane and John Travolta. I still love this movie. I have a soft spot for it. I did go see it like opening day, and I enjoyed the planning, the meticulous planning. It does have a little bit of heavy subject matter in the beginning, but if you can get past it, it makes for a good movie. Is it exactly comic book accurate? No, probably not, but, it was a good story. Iron Man. Let's see Iron Man here. Yep, it's a 2-disc set. Iron Man, first movie in the MCU. A lot of people would say it's probably the best or close to it. As much as my disdain for the MCU has grown over the years, I still will say that Iron Man is a damn good movie. Next, we have Hulk. This is the 2003 version with Eric Bana. I think that's how you pronounce it. I was really excited for this when it came out, and it's a very interesting take. They were doing some things with the comics at that point that they incorporated into the movie. I don't know if that still holds up. It's okay, but I believe Ang Lee directed this, and there are some cool parts in there with how he transitioned between scenes. So to me, that's pretty cool. I still, though, prefer The Incredible Hulk. A lot of people say this is one of the weaker installments of the MCU. I think it's one of the better ones, to be honest. And that fight between Hulk and the Abomination, even though the Abomination doesn't look comic book accurate, is pretty cool. And I'm just noticing now, this is interesting, that my copy of Men in Black is out of order with MIB 2. Men in Black was one of my favorite movies, you know, as a teenager, getting to watch it. I was so into Men in Black at the time. Just the song, it was just really cool. I enjoy the movie. I think it's a classic. I don't think the sequels quite lived up to the original. I mean, Men in Black 2 is not bad. It's okay, but, you know, I think they stopped them at a right time. I mean, I didn't like Men in Black 3, and I didn't even watch the one with Chris Hemsworth, who is the franchise killer. They just need to stop. Unbreakable. This movie, it's from M. Night Shyamalan. If you have not seen Unbreakable, I implore you to do so. Go into it open-minded. It is pretty cool. It's you know, they're talking about the, well, got some scratches there, but it's all about his take on the superhero genre, and you learn some cool things, and this set is pretty cool too. It includes like some pictures and some illustrations and stuff, and it has a really cool twist ending. M. Night Shyamalan is known for his twist endings. This was directly, I believe it was directly after The Sixth Sense, or might have been before Signs or whatever. It didn't get enough love. They did make some sequels later on, but I would implore you to watch Unbreakable. It's a bit of a slow burn, but definitely check it out. Next, we have my box set of the Ninja Turtle movies. We're on to like the stuff from my childhood. Ninja Turtles, Ninja Turtles 2, Ninja Turtles 3. Are they cinematic masterpieces? Yes, they are. The original holds up. I love Ninja Turtles 2. Ninja Turtles 3, I still think is good, although some people would complain. But this was my childhood. This was 6, 7, and 8-year-old Chris in a nutshell. All 3 Ninja Turtle movies. And a sequel, because this technically is a sequel to those, is TMNT. You know, this got some attention when they made it, because it was coming out at a time when the Turtles were not around, like they weren't popular. And for it to do as well as it did, people liked it. But they just never made a sequel to it, and it's a shame because it was pretty good. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Like I said, I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. Been with it from day one. I'm a ride or die for Power Rangers. The original movie, oddly enough, I never thought it was like the best. Like, I liked it, but I never was super excited about it. Saw it opening day and was disappointed that it was not canon to the series. In my opinion, Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, is a better film. It sets up the season of Power Rangers Turbo much better. It's canon, so all the events that happen in this movie happen in the series. They count. They're talked about. It's just, in my opinion, a better Power Rangers movie, although I'm in the minority on that one. And this one, technically, I don't know if it's a movie. They call it a movie, but it was a special clash of Power Rangers, Clash of the Red Rangers, with the Red Samurai Ranger and the Red RPM Ranger kind of teaming up during the Samurai season. I know I'm talking a little bit nerdy right now, but it was pretty cool. This was the only way to get it at the time. It didn't come with one of the seasons. So I guess technically it is a movie. It's about an hour, but again, another DVD that's out of print that's worth money that I can't watch. Jurassic Park. One of my favorite movies. You know, I say that a lot with all of these, but a lot of them are my favorite movies. I love Jurassic Park. My imagination was captured with Jurassic Park when I was 10 years old. And it's why I'm always so excited when another Jurassic Park movie comes out. It holds up to today, you know, like, even though this came out over 30 years ago, like, the dinosaur special effects still hold up. And even though the dinosaurs aren't in the movie that much, I still love it. And, we also have The Lost World, Jurassic Park. I was blown away when they announced that there was going to be a sequel, and especially now that the dinosaurs are out in the wild, there's no park. I thought it was a cool concept, and I loved it. This is probably, out of the series, probably one of my favorites. Between Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and Jurassic World, those are my three favorites out of all 6 movies. Jurassic Park 3, on the other hand, very cool. Love the Spinosaurus. Love that they introduced pteranodons into it, but it just kind of fell flat. And learning the fact that they started filming this movie before the script was done, you can kind of tell. We're in the action section of my collection, by the way. And now we got Shaft. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I love the Samuel L. Jackson version of Shaft. A great movie. Deals with some heavy real life issues. If you haven't seen it, I say give it a shot. It's got Christian Bale in it. It really, it's a private eye cop street thriller. It's pretty good. It's got Busta Rhymes to add some comedic relief. Between this one and the 2019 version, I'll take the 2019 version, but this is still good. Next, we have a classic, The Terminator with Arnold. Another one of my favorite film franchises, The Terminator. I do believe I have all of them in my collection at somewhere between DVD and Blu-ray and 4K, but just a classic series. Like, it speaks for itself. And Terminator 2 is probably one of those rare films that, like, the sequel really outperforms the original, and it's probably the best film in the franchise. If you don't know, it's Arnold coming back as a good guy this time, and it's a great movie. You really should check out Terminator. Or Terminator 2, I should say. One thing I will mention too is, like, your best bet is to go with either the DVDs or the Blu-rays. Skip the 4K entirely. James Cameron has been known to, like, digitally mess with some of his films, and Terminator 2 unfortunately was a victim of that. Terminator 3, definitely not the best in the franchise. Interesting enough, with there being, I forget how many, it was a little over a decade gap, maybe more like 12, 13 years, something like that, between, I think it was 12 years, between Terminator 3, or Terminator 2 and Terminator 3, and having Arnold come back. Interesting concept. I like the Terminatrix. The special effects just weren't as good. But do with that what you will. Underworld, one of my favorite movies. I love Kate Beckinsale as Selene. If you've not seen this, it's pretty cool. It's very gothic, very gothic. It's a very moody movie. It's very stylized and just very cool, with having vampires versus werewolves and her fighting them. Just very cool. And then you have the sequel too. Personally, I think the first one was the best. Underworld Evolution wasn't bad. At one point she did leave the series, but she came back, and they could still make more, and I would be there to watch them. Rambo. This is the 4th entry in the Rambo series. It's got a pretty cool sequence of Stallone getting revenge on Burma, but not the best in the franchise, but it is what it is. I was bound to have a Fast and the Furious movie in here. Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I really don't like the Fast and the Furious franchise. I got this one. I liked this one because it did not have Vin Diesel in it. And, I thought the story was pretty good. And it was a little bit different from the previous two. And that alone was worth it, me having this in my collection. But aside from this one, I can't stand that franchise at all. At all. Never Back Down. This is the movie where I first saw bed shitter Amber Heard in a movie. Never Back Down is a pretty good movie. It's about this guy who gets beat up in front of everybody, and he trains in martial arts because the other guy knew martial arts to try to best him. And it's a good story of, in the title, Never Back Down, of, beating down your oppressors, coming back stronger, better, focusing, and there's a whole bunch more to it. They did some sequels. The sequels were never good as this one. I recommend you guys check that out. It's a good story. Snakes on a Plane. I am sick of these snakes on this plane. It's absolutely ridiculous, and that's what makes it worthy of being in my collection. It's fun. It's good. Is it an Oscar winner? No. Is it worthy of that? No. I mean, it's is what the title is, Snakes on a Plane, and how does Samuel L. Jackson handle that? What I thought would have made this movie a little bit better, maybe redeemed it, and had people take it a little bit more seriously, is have Samuel L. Jackson be in on the plot from the get-go as a twist. But alas, they did not do that. The Rundown with The Rock. I really liked this movie when it came out. It was fun. One of The Rock's first roles as a bounty hunter. It's action adventure. It has Rosario Dawson in it. It's a lot of fun. It's got Stifler in it. Sean William Scott. Give it a shot if you haven't seen it. This movie, Clash. I have no idea what this is. I have never seen it. I believe I won this at a bar. And it was put on my shelf, and it has sat there ever since. Into the Blue with Paul Walker and Jessica Alba. It's a pretty cool smuggling movie, and it's a lot of fun. It's got some cool, sexy moments. If you're into that, as you can see here, Jessica Alba is there being sexy, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely worth it. It's worth a viewing. Into the Blue 2, The Reef. I believe it was a direct-to-DVD. They were trying to capitalize on the minor popularity of Into the Blue. It, again, same as the other one, worth a watch. Varsity Blues, James Vanderbeek, John Voight, Ali Larter in her whipped cream bikini. A good coming-of-age story, a lot of fun. I say that a lot of times because I do have a lot of fun watching these movies. But, great coming-of-age story about a high school quarterback playing football. You guys, you should check it out. This movie is a classic here, The Karate Kid. Ironically, I saw the Jaden Smith remake or legacy sequel or requel or however you want to call it before I saw this one, and it made me want to see this one, and I'm glad I did. It was pretty good. This next movie is just a pretty movie, and I say that because, A, there's pretty girls in it. Well, at least Kate Bosworth. But, there's a Blue Crush. It's a lot of ocean. It's a surfing movie. You get to see a lot of cool shots of, I believe it's set in Hawaii. I could be wrong about that. It's been a while since I've seen it. But a lot of cool ocean shots, and that's what I mean, what I seriously mean by it's a pretty movie. Lots of cool shots of the ocean. Alpha Dog. It's a bit of a heavy content. It's a bit of a drama. Amanda Seyfried and Olivia Wilde, Justin Timberlake. I can't even think of who else is in this movie. It's okay. You can check it out. The Covenant, there is a really cool scene where they take a car apart with magic and then put it back together like instantly, what, in like a high-speed chase or something. It was in the trailer. That's the best part of this movie. Utterly forgettable. Fear with Mark Wahlberg, Renee Zellweger. No, not Renee Zellweger. She'll come to me. Anyway, Fear is a really good movie. It's got the guy, William Peterson. He played Grissom on CSI, but this is a pretty cool movie where teenage love gone awry, and Mark Wahlberg plays a complete psychopath. Alyssa Milano is in this too, and I'm stalling because I'm trying to remember the girl that's in it. I gotta look. I'm drawing a blank here. Reese Witherspoon. Okay. I can't believe I did that. But you're getting this like pretty much live and uncut. I'm going to do very minimal edits to this video. Next up, 8 Mile. 8 Mile. I do love 8 Mile. I have loved this movie since I went to theaters to see this. I was so excited. I bought the soundtrack. One of the few soundtracks I got carded for, even though I was, over 18 at the time. It's a great coming of age story, and you can really see the growth of B. Rabbit in this. There was Oscar buzz, and I am still disappointed that he did not get the Oscar, that he did not get nominated. I don't even know if Eminem won an award, but he should have. American Beauty. Kevin Spacey, Annette Bening, Mina Suvari, Thora Birch. This did win Best Pictures. You can see here from the case. This is a good movie. I loved everything about it. I don't want to spoil it, but it shows like the drama of this American family and how we all have problems and trials and tribulations, and the ending is truly memorable. Once you see it, you won't forget it. Killing Me Softly with Heather Graham. This is a kind of an erotic thriller. Be careful who you watch this with. There's a lot of nudity, but it is pretty good. There's some parts in there that's a little long, but it's definitely worth watching. A lot of people will be surprised that I have The Notebook in my collection. And they would say that I would have to turn my man card in. I am going to disagree with you. I am one for a romantic movie. It just has to be good. And The Notebook is good. I own it. See? It's here. It's right here in my hand. And plus, Rachel McAdams is like smoking hot. But it is a good movie if you can give it the shot. Like, guys, put your pride away and give it a shot. A Night at the Cat. Now, most of you have never even heard of this, and I'm not going to say for good reason, but, well, good reason in the sense of this was a movie shot at my local bar, one of the bars I frequented, and I was able to purchase a copy. So I do know all of these people, or have at least met them, and they were in the movie. The Girlfriend Experience. This is from Sasha Grey. This was, I believe, no, it's not one of her ideas, but she wanted to make a legit turn into acting. And this was a bit of a slow burn, but not bad. All right, so now, Embrace of the Vampire with Alyssa Milano. This is an erotic thriller with a vampire, obviously, and she's embraced by him. This is one of those movies, again, it's a slow burn. It's more focuses on the erotic aspect than the horror aspect, even though there is a vampire in it. And again, there's a bunch of nudity in here, so be careful who you watch it with. Devil's Advocate. I don't know if anybody remembers this movie with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. It's about a lawyer played by Keanu Reeves who goes to work for the devil unknowingly and comes to find out that he is the son of the devil, and wacky hijinks ensue. But it's a pretty good movie. Charlize Theron is in it. It's a slow burn. So even though it's got a lot of supernatural stuff, it's not it's not like a slasher film. Next, we're moving on to the comedy section. The American Pie movies. American Pie. The unrated version. What can I say about American Pie? Well, I recently just went to see a screening of it with Thomas Ian Nicholas. He played Kevin in the movies. It was at a bar, and I got to meet him. I'll throw up a picture up on the screen so you guys can see him. At least I hope I remember it when I edit this. But he's pretty cool, and I was going to take this to get it signed, and then I remembered like he's not on the cover, and I kind of thought it would be a little awkward to have him sign, the American Pie movie with him not on it. American Pie is a coming of age story. If you grew up in that era, that was, the comedy. It was your movie. American Pie 2, the rated version. I could have had him sign this, to be honest. I just didn't think of it. I like American Pie 2. American Wedding. This is probably my least favorite out of the franchise, and even Thomas said himself that, this was the worst one, and I would probably agree with him on that one. American Reunion. I gotta say is probably my favorite. I enjoyed this a lot more. There was a lot more laughs, especially with the jet skis. I thought that was pretty funny. Took place 10 years later, showed our characters grow up. Now over here, this is where they did some spin-offs in between. I think it was between American Wedding and American Reunion. And I think the first one was The Naked Mile. They were just trying to capitalize. I've seen it, but I haven't watched my copy, obviously. But they were just trying to capitalize on the American Pie thing. And, Jim's dad is in it, which is always funny. Eugene Levy does a great job in these movies. But they served as like pseudo sequels. After The Naked Mile, there was Bandcamp. And I could have sworn that maybe Bandcamp came out first. But either way, again, these were just trying to capitalize on that. I did love Beta House. I thought Beta House was interesting. It's kind of a direct sequel to The Naked Mile. The direct-to-video American Pie sequels were interesting in and of themselves, but they don't compare to the original movies. Then we have Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. A friend of mine actually turned me on to these. I didn't see these until much later, and they were funny. I had to have them. I love both of them. Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay was the sequel. I think that was pretty funny. Those two are definitely better than the Christmas one that they came out with. Mallrats. This is a classic, a Kevin Smith classic. If you have not seen Mallrats, I urge you give it a shot. I watched this when I was 14, and this was one of those movies I just kept watching over and over again because of how funny it was. And the same thing with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Again, I haven't watched my copy of it, but Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is a classic. I don't like the new one that they made, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot or whatever, but this one was funny. Next up, we've got Not Another Teen Movie. This is a classic with Chris Evans and Kyler Lee. Definitely, you should watch. If you haven't seen this, like it's just funny. And it just spoofs all these teen movies that have come out over the years. It's comedy gold. Euro Trip. Some people will say this is funnier than Road Trip. It's not in the same universe or whatever, but it was good. And, you know, Michelle Trachtenberg, rest in peace. I loved this movie, and she was great in this, and it's just so sad to hear of her passing. Wedding Crashers. Now, I have to be honest, even though I have a few comedies here, they're not my typical go-to. I went to theaters to see this, and usually if I'm watching a comedy, like, I'll be like, oh, that's funny. I won't laugh, but I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's funny. This, I was laughing out loud. I hear they're making a sequel. It's a classic. It's just an absolute, just a laugh fest. I love this movie. Even my stuck-up prudish aunt loved it and thought it was funny. Road Trip. Another comedy classic. Tom Green, even though he doesn't really have a big part, they were just, you know, trying to milk him for his then popularity. And they were trying to go for American Pie. I don't think that they in a lot of ways, it's better than American Pie, to be honest. Even though they both have Stifler in it. But it's a lot of fun. Really cool. I wish they would have done a sequel. I wish this would have gotten the sequels that American Pie did. At least one. Bad Santa, or Badder Santa. The unrated version is called Badder Santa. This was a good movie. It's a good Christmas movie about thieves robbing the mall at Christmas time. I loved it. This is another one that I saw later on and grew to appreciate it more. And of course, you know, Bernie Mac, rest in peace, was a big part of the movie. I definitely recommend. If you guys haven't seen Badder Santa, give it a shot. National Lampoon's Going the Distance. This is probably one you haven't heard of. Again, they're trying to go the route of like an American Pie, a Euro Trip, a Road Trip. And it is fun. It's got a lot of comedy to it. I would definitely recommend that you guys check this movie out if you can find it. It's probably going to be on DVD. I don't know if it made it to Blu-ray, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Do check it out. A lot of laughs, a lot of gross humor. Like, if you like American Pie, you're going to like this. All right, so continuing on with comedy, we have Without a Paddle with Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, and Dax Shepard. This was a hilarious movie. It reminded me of some fun times I had with friends of mine, like just hanging out. You know, again, didn't get a lot of love, but it is still pretty funny. Next up, we have Sex and the City, the movie. I think it's safe to say that, like, Sex in the City is not really just for women anymore. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Sorry, bouncing the camera around a lot, but, you know, continued after the TV show ended. It was a lot of fun. It's not for everybody, but, you know. National Lampoon's Van Wilder, another copy of a movie I've seen, but not my own personal copy, with Ryan Reynolds and Tara Reid. It was fun for what it was. The sequel, Van Wilder, The Rise of Taj, interesting enough, does not have Van Wilder in it, but does have Kal Penn in it from Harold and Kumar. So if you enjoyed his character, you'll enjoy that. I don't remember if that came out to theaters or not, but they did have this one I know for sure just came out in just direct to video. Van Wilder freshman year. Let's adjust this camera a little bit. All right. Freshman year, forgettable. I even forgot about it until I just pulled it out. So, I Love You, Beth Cooper. Hayden Panettiere. They were really riding off of Heroes, her fame in Heroes, and they tried to make a movie that was popular. I mean, I liked it enough, I got it. I haven't watched my copy of it, but that tells you something. In the mix. Is this movie amazing? No. It's not, but it's fun. Usher, Chaz Palminteri, however you pronounce it, and Emmanuel Cherokee. I enjoy it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely something to watch, and you may not want to own it like I do, but it's a sweet movie. It's fun. Next up, Ryan Reynolds in Waiting. There is one scene in here, the angry kitty. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know that it's, yeah. Man, Andy Milonakis. I did not remember that he was in this until looking at this cover. Like, what happened to him? But anyway, a funny movie. Do check it out. The sequel, Still Waiting. It was not great, but it was not bad by any means. Damn, Andy Milonakis is in this one too, but kind of forgot about him until just a second ago. Team America World Police. Man, if there is not a movie more funny for the current times we live in, this is perfect for it. It's with puppets from the creators of South Park. Definitely check it out. Borat. I own it, but I didn't love it as much as a lot of people did. Like, this was the movie for a while. I would say definitely check it out, but I didn't have as much love for it as some people did. Senior Skip Day. This was a movie that they were trying to capitalize on American Pie and trying to come out with as many teen high school comedies as possible. This one is kind of forgettable. There are a couple of scenes in there with the family that has the funeral that is pretty funny. The uncle that's presiding over the funeral or whatever, I think is pretty funny. But if it had a better cast, it probably would have done better. I mean, they did get Tara Reid for this, but what can I say? Broken Lizard's Club Dread. This is one of those movies. Again, I own it, haven't seen my copy of it, but it's just hilarious. If you saw Super Trooper, I think that's what it was. It's the same guys that came back to make a sequel, and it has a lot of funny parts. My favorite part is Pina Colada Berg. If you don't know what that is, when you're done with this video, look up Pina Colada Berg on YouTube, and you will enjoy it. It is a lot of fun. Beer Fest is also from the same guys that did Super Troopers and Club Dread. I do believe I won this at a bar. It's, each movie they made after Super Troopers it didn't capture the magic, but it was good. And I do believe this is the last in the comedy movie section, but I recently picked this up, Sister Act. I grew up watching this movie. It's a classic. Some people, seem to think Sister Act 2 is better. I don't know who those people are. I don't understand those people. The original is by far the best. Now we're going to move on to stand-up comedy, right? I love stand-up comedy. One of my favorite comedians, Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker. This is a classic stand-up special. I don't know how relevant it is today, but back in 1997, this was it. It was back when, you know, it was harder to come by comedy specials because they were all on HBO, and not everybody had HBO like everybody has Netflix now. So some of these specials, like it was a thing to have them on DVD. Never Scared, one of his follow-ups. This is also pretty funny. I believe this came out in 2005. Still pretty funny. Do check it out. And then Kill the Messenger. You know, again, he's pretty funny. I don't even know if some of these are on Max. Like HBO Max, or Max as it's called now, used to like get a lot of the comedy specials. I don't know if they have any of these. Some of these I know didn't come out on HBO, didn't come out on HBO, but I know those did. Dave Chappelle Live at the Fillmore. Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians. He's probably one of yours too. And this was, I believe, his first special, or at least the first one where he like got, this is before Chappelle Show. I think it aired on Showtime. I think it came on like on my 16th birthday. And man, am I dating myself if I'm correct about that. But I laughed my ass off. Now, for my other favorite comedians, let's see. Cat Williams Live. This was a funny movie. As it goes. This was a funny special, okay? We'll go back here. All right, I hear you. All right. This was a funny special. A lot of people just go to the next one, which was the Pimp Chronicles Part 1. But this was before that, and it has a joke about a mall built in a damn circle that gets me every single time. And then most famous is the Pimp Chronicles Part 1, which has the famous Michael Jackson jokes in there. Like, that's the one that people seem to remember. Next up is American Hustle, the movie, which is a movie, but it's like, I don't know, this whole thing is like about 2 hours, and like the first hour is this American Hustle, the movie, and then the second part is the Pimp Chronicles Part 2, which is a hilarious special. You guys should definitely check out. It's Pimpin', Cat Williams, a favorite special of mine. This was like about 2008. Still hilarious. Catpocalypse. I believe this was 2012, or it was filmed on New Year's Eve of 2011. So it turns into 2012, but again, another great special from him. Priceless Afterlife, again, this one did come on HBO, as you can see by the cover. If I would recommend, if you are a Cat Williams fan and you've only seen one of those, to go back and, you know, actually watch all the specials. They are pretty hilarious, and you can see like where his genius comes from. Last in the comedy specials, we've got Kevin Hart, I'm a Grown Little Man. Seen this many times, but obviously not my copy of it. Kevin Hart is funny. He's one of the funniest around, and this is a great special. Next, we have music, and I have, don't judge me, but Britney Spears, the Video Collection. A friend of my best friend and I both had copies of this. Well, he had his copy first, and then after we realized our mutual attraction of Britney, you know, he'd be like, "Oh, I got the videos," and then I found this when I was down in Georgia, like 10, 15 years ago, and I'm like, I called him while I was on vacation. I'm like, "Dude, I got it!" So now, and we were just glad that we both had copies of it. So, and I keep that out of memory for him. Eminem, All Access Europe. This is a performance special of him performing. This was after the Marshall Mathers LP. It is very, very cool. I definitely recommend you if you get the opportunity, give it a shot. Now that ends the musical DVD section. Next we got some documentaries that I haven't seen on DC Comics, but I recommend Secret Origin and Necessary Evil. Now we're going to move on to some animated movies. So we're going to go back into the DC animated movie sphere. These are going to be the first three that they created. So Superman, Doomsday. The first in the animated original movie line, like I said. It's a great movie. You got James Marsters, who's known for playing Spike on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, voicing Lex Luthor. It's just a great story about the death of Superman and his resurrection, told by the infamous comic book. It is pretty good. And then Justice League, The New Frontier, based off, I believe, a story of the same name by Darwin Cook. Same art style. It's pretty good. It's got a great line from Batman towards Martian Manhunter, where he tells Martian Manhunter that he believes he's doing good, but if he's like, if he's the alien that causes problems, he's got, I think it was like a $50,000 rock for the one in Metropolis, and the only thing I need for you is a penny to buy a book of matches. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool line that I just butchered. Batman, Gotham Knight. This is set in the Nolanverse, so in the Dark Knight trilogy. This shows some of Bruce's training. While it came out in between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, a lot of people bought this. I know they let their kids watch it. It's really not meant for kids. I mean, it's not like they couldn't watch it, but it is PG-13. It's really meant like for more adults. The great Kevin Conroy, rest in peace, voices Batman in this once again. And like this isn't really for like little kids, but some people let their little kids watch it and then they wonder why they got issues. Anyway, next up, Mask of the Phantasm. This is from 1993, from Batman the Animated Series. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is probably one of the best Batman movies ever. I watch this constantly. This is one of those movies, it's like my ice cream. If there's something going wrong, this is like my comfort food. This is what makes me feel better. It's a great story about the love of Bruce Wayne's life and how she almost prevented him, by his own choice, but from becoming Batman. And time goes on, and later on she comes back and makes him question his choice again. It's just a great movie about, choices. Sometimes the path that's greener, or what we think is greener. This was the last movie in the Batman the Animated Series, the original Batman the Animated Series. Sub-Zero came out around the time Batman and Robin did. That's why they feature Mr. Freeze. And, it was really a good send-off for the character and pretty much for the series at the time, because they didn't know they were coming back. But they did with the new Batman adventures. And then eventually they made this movie, Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. Now, I don't know if it really fits into, if it's really part of the new Batman adventures. It seems to. I mean, it's got the same voice cast for the most part. But it just might. So, I don't know. It definitely is the weaker out of all the movies I just showed you, the other two. But, it was fun. It was a direct-to-video thing, and it was interesting for what it was. This one, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Now, this one is special. For those that don't know, there was a series on Kids WB called Batman Beyond. It was after, or a sequel series to Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures, where they took place, I believe, 40 years in the future with a brand new Batman mentored by Bruce Wayne, once again voiced by Kevin Conroy. This movie was direct to video, and they show you the what happened to the Joker. So Batman Beyond Return of the Joker is obviously Joker coming back. Now what makes this copy special is, or this release, is it's a PG-13 release. There are two cuts of the film. This is like the more adult one. And it is a little bit different, and there is some verbiage that's a little bit different. Basically, Joker dies off screen, kind of, in the PG rated one, and in this one, you see him die. It is a very good movie. I recommend you guys definitely, if you haven't seen the PG-13 cut of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and you are a Batman Beyond fan, definitely go pick it up. It might even be on Max. I don't know. This one was interesting. The Batman versus Dracula. For those that know, in the comic book realm, there was a comic book called Batman Red Rain. This has nothing to do with it, but they still had the Batman versus, or going up against Dracula. The Batman was a animated series. We're going to talk about it here in a little bit. It came out right around the time of Batman Begins, setting Batman up in his, year 1, year 2 phase. I believe maybe it was like year 3, where we get to see him go up against, King of the Undead. And it is a good movie. One of the things I love about this movie is it starts and ends the same way with just Batman on patrol. It's a little underrated, but definitely you should go check it out. Then we have the Batman Superman movie. Now, technically, this is just episodes of Superman the Animated Series that they just left uncut for, or that they just, there was 3 episodes they put together for a movie, for a DVD release instead of the normal 3 episodes it would have been. It's great. It's Batman the Animated Series crossing over with Superman the Animated Series. Superman the Animated Series, which we will talk about here in a little bit, in my opinion, is the definitive version of Superman, and having that with the definitive version of Batman, it's just great. It's a true classic. You definitely should check that out. This one, Superman Brainiac Attacks. You can skip this one. It's so weird because it's the same art style as Superman the Animated Series, but it's not the same continuity. I don't know what they were thinking, but you can skip that one, in my opinion. Next up is Justice League, and I haven't watched my copy of this, but Justice League the Animated Series. This is the first 3 parts that they again, same thing they did with the Batman Superman movie, that they turned into a straight direct-to-DVD release. One movie that you can watch, and instead of the 3 episodes. It's a great story. I love Justice League the Animated Series. Again, we're going to be talking about it here in a little bit. They tend to do a lot of the taking of the 3 parts and turning it into a movie for a separate DVD release, like this, with Justice League Starcrossed the movie. This was like the series finale of Justice League before it became Justice League Unlimited. And they did the same thing. The 3-part of Starcrossed, they turned into a movie, which I would recommend you watch it as a movie as compared to 3 parts of the show. It's a better experience. Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo, the original movie of the beloved Teen Titans series. This was like the series finale of Teen Titans. A lot of things happened at the end, and unfortunately, I don't understand why Teen Titans Go is even a thing when they have the same voice cast as Teen Titans. Just continue the series. Everybody loved it, and they don't. They go on with that, but this is an interesting movie. If you want to see like the true series finale of Teen Titans, this is it. I'm going to move my Batman action figure out of the way. And we have Ultimate Avengers, which is Marvel's attempt at gaining a leg up on animation, it's just not really worth it. And Ultimate Avengers 2, which I never saw and never watched this copy. I should probably give both of those a shot at some point. And then here in the animated section, I picked this copy up used. It is Ninja Turtles, Turtles Forever. This is a crossover between the 1980s, I forget what year, Ninja Turtles from the cartoons we probably watched as kids, and the 2003 Turtles. A great crossover. It was celebrating, I believe, the 25th anniversary. I could be wrong about the year, but it was just cool to see the difference in style. Next up, we have my Pokemon movie collection. I'm proud to say that I have all the Pokemon movies that have been released. Now I've been collecting them and trying to catch up for the past few years. And the last one, it's not going to make an appearance in this video, but it just arrived today. I just haven't put it on the shelf yet. For those that don't know, they used to release a Pokemon movie every year, and that happened for about 20 years consecutively, roughly, and give or take. You know, from the original, let's see, some of these are kind of tight to get in there, but Pokemon, the first movie, came out in 1999. I say it's a classic. You know, there's some people that don't get into Pokemon, and okay, I can respect you on that, but they are a lot of fun and a good message. What's cool about them is that you don't need to see all of them back to back to understand what's going on. They don't have like a strict continuity, but I will say some are definitely better than others. If there's some that I'm going to recommend, I will say Pokemon 3. I think it has a great message for people of all ages. You know, this is about a little girl who is left alone a lot of time, and she's lonely, and so her psyche kind of projects her loneliness. I don't want to give too much away in case you do see it, but it is a good movie with a great message. Like, don't leave little kids alone. Some of my other favorite ones: Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. It's the 8th one. You know, a story of, you know, kind of some of the themes that we kind of go on today, you know, like clearing of names. Like sometimes we get people catch a bad rap, and learning about, you know, like, hey, they weren't a bad person. It's just circumstances that led that way. The other ones that I really like, I liked I Choose You. This was the 20th anniversary movie. This kind of retells the first season of Pokemon in a 2-hour or less than 2-hour movie, like an hour and a half. They did this for the 20th anniversary. It's very touching, you know. In a lot of ways, they're doing things better than Disney ever did, and this movie is one of the testaments to that. Like it's just pretty good. I would highly recommend it. But yeah, you know, I know Pokemon isn't for everybody, and all the movies are a little bit different. So I'll let you discover those on your own if you're interested. But like I said, I do have all of them, and they're all in order here. And the other one isn't on the shelf yet. But this one is just a collection. I found this in the $5 bin at Walmart, a Pikachu's Winter Vacation. It's just fun Christmas-themed episodes. These never aired on TV. So if you come across this chances are this might not be anything you've ever seen before. It's just, you know, it's Christmas Pokemon stories. Like, you can't go wrong. And we'll leave off the anime with Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie. I loved playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. I love playing the Pokemon card game too. But But Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie was a lot of fun, although I thought the movie kind of, it kind of missed the mark. It didn't hit like what they were going for in terms of the popularity. I was a little surprised that it even got a theatrical release. But it's good, I always liked Pokemon better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Mainly because Pokemon always seemed like Discovery Channel stuff. Like you learned about new Pokemon, even though, they're not real creatures, but it always seemed very real, or not very real, but like they were doing Discovery type stuff where you would learn about different Pokemon in every episode and have a battle where Yu-Gi-Oh! Just talked way too much. Now, on to animated series. This is the Batman, the animated series, full collection. This is all the episodes of Batman, the animated series, and the new Batman Adventures, which technically they count as like a season 4 or volume 4. These are released in a different order. These were, I believe, placed in production order. So that's why they're volumes instead of seasons. But yeah, it's like 96 episodes right here. And if you have not seen Batman the Animated Series, which you totally should, you got to give it a shot. Like there's a reason. These are classics. Superman the Animated Series. This was done by the same folks that did Batman the Animated Series, but it's a different art style. By this point, it had moved over to WB, and they wanted like a more cartoony feel to it, but to be honest, it still holds up, even though the animation is a little bit different. Justice League, we talked a little bit about it a second ago, but the first season of Justice League, done by the same folks, same continuity as Batman the Animated Series and Superman. Just great stories of the world's greatest superheroes. Much better than the Avengers. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl. That's the Justice League in these 2 seasons. They were great. And like I said, that finished up, season 2 finished up with the Star-Crossed story, which I showed you in the singular DVD, and then that led to Justice League Unlimited, where they added a huge cast of DC characters and added them to the roster of the Justice League, and turned it from, while Justice League seasons 1 and 2, everything was a 2-parter. These are all, for the most part, self-contained stories, like 1-parters. They do have some 2-parters, but for the most part, they're just 1-parters. And then season 2 was the final, the finale, which kind of closed off the story. But you can't go wrong with those. Those are all pretty good. Now, Batman Beyond. We talked a little bit about Batman Beyond. This was something that I was a little apprehensive about because they created the character of Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond specifically for the cartoon, but it turned out to be a huge success and led to 3 seasons that you should totally check out. I believe they have these now on Blu-ray, so you don't need to pick them up on DVD. But it led to 3 seasons of an amazing show, and eventually Terry McGinnis did enter the comic books. And then another show that we were talking about before was Batman, or The Batman, where I showed you the Batman versus Dracula, and there was 5 seasons of this. It was a pretty cool show, and one of the cool things about it was the toys that came out along with this show could work in tandem with the show, and it was just a lot of fun. Like when he has this thing in here called the Batwave. Anytime that like popped up on screen, you could use the whatever toy to like unlock certain features of that toy when that showed up. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, all 5 seasons. their last season is probably one of the best. It has a lot of the different DC superheroes because it was set in its own universe, along with, not the same universe, but Teen Titans. Definitely check this out. If like, so much better than Teen Titans Go. I don't know how they like stopped making Teen Titans and just decided like, hey, we're just gonna go with Teen Titans Go. And down here we have my various seasons of Pokemon. I am doing my best to collect all the seasons of Pokemon. I'm missing like about 6, 4 of which are out, 2 of which have not been released yet, but it's my goal to get them all. I do have from the originals, from the Indigo League, all the way through the advanced in Battle Frontier. So I've got the complete saga all the way up through that, and that's where some of the holes start to come through. I'm missing one of like Diamond and Pearl, and I do have the complete Black and Whites, but I'm missing some X and Ys, some Sun and Moons, and then the last of like Journeys. But that's my whole collection of Pokemon. I know Pokemon's not for everybody, but it is for me. It's one of my favorite things. So 2 of my favorite TV shows are Buffy the Vampire Slayer, all 7 seasons, and Angel, all 5 seasons. Just a great show. You know, say what you will about Joss Whedon, whatever. He did do a great job with Buffy. If you haven't seen it, this is great for tweens. It still holds up today. My favorite season is season 2 of Buffy. And I really love season 1 of Angel. The storytelling later on was a little bit different. Not bad, but just different. And this was awesome. And I do love the final season of Angel, season 5, when they added Spike to the cast. But all of this is amazing. I would say, out of all this, probably the weakest seasons are seasons 4, seasons 6 of Buffy, and season 4 of Angel is probably the weakest. But even though I say that, they still have some of my favorite episodes, ironically enough. So if you haven't seen Buffy, haven't seen Angel, give it a shot. Like, Buffy's streaming for free on Tubi now. I don't know if Angel is streaming anywhere, but definitely, these are gold. These are like I said, 2 of my favorite TV shows. So, something you guys might find out of character for me is liking House so much, House MD. This was one of my favorite shows back in the day. It still holds up. I would recommend you guys checking it out if you haven't seen it. This is on Prime, streaming on Prime now. But just a great series. I do have all 8 seasons. Like I showed you, the season 8 I have on Blu-ray. It's right around season 5 that the show kind of dipped out in quality a little bit, but still, hang with it if you can. It's still pretty good. Next we have Blade. This is the complete series, the 1-season series. This, unfortunately, was canceled for money reasons. This is a continuation of the Blade film series with Wesley Snipes, although, you know, we got Kirk Sticky Fingers Jones as Blade, and originally he seemed to, like, imitate Wesley Snipes a little bit, but then he grew and made the character his own in this series, and it was a shame when they decided not to bring it back, because this ends on a cliffhanger. But if you get the chance to see, I know it's streaming a lot of times for free, do check it out. Next we have Supernatural. I have all 15 seasons on DVD. Now, why on DVD? Specifically because it gives it that old, almost VHS feel as best as possible, if that makes any kind of sense. Supernatural just feels like they used a lot of, special effects that were, practical effects back in the day instead of like CGI. Later on they changed that, but it just feels right to have these on DVD instead of like Blu-ray. I would recommend give the first season a shot. Anytime you give a show a shot, try to watch the complete first season because that's the complete story. For me, I think I love the first three. I would honestly say season 3 is good. It's got one of my favorite episodes, Bad Day at Black Rock. But I would say the first 5 are solid. 6 is okay, kind of started to fall off. And, you know, people have differing opinions about the rest of them. But it still held up. You know, if it was still on, I would still be watching it. So Supernatural is a great show. I'm a huge fan. They keep teasing us with a season 16 that they may come back to revive it and whatever. I'm happy if they do. You know, it's one of those shows that could have gone on forever in the terms of how they were telling the story. There could always be another big bad. You know, I don't know if the quality would have held up in that theory, but I'm just saying it could have gone on forever and fans would have watched it because they loved Supernatural. So I do believe it's still on Netflix, I think. If not, it's got to be streaming somewhere, and you should definitely give Supernatural a shot. Batman 66, it's a classic. You got to see it. It's campy, but it's fun. I only have the first season on DVD. I always intended to get the big box set, but never did. But it's one of those things I will probably rectify. And I haven't even watched my copy of this yet. But you definitely should check out Batman 66 with Adam West. Another show that is a classic that some people will probably disagree with, but don't care. It's my list. Smallville. Smallville, you know, was on TV for 10 years and held the Guinness Book of World Records for longest running fantasy series, superhero fantasy sci-fi series, until Supernatural broke that record, ironically. And Jensen Ackles was on Smallville for a few seasons. But, you know, it really paved the way for a lot of superhero stuff that we get now. A great series. It had its moments where it was just like, eh. But season 2 is probably one of the better seasons of Smallville. Really, it probably stayed around a little longer than it should have, but by like season 8, they were really leading into the whole getting him ready to be Superman. Because if you don't remember, this show had a no tights, no flights rule. So he never calls himself Superman, but it does delve into his Kryptonian heritage, and we start to get a lot of other Justice League members. Really around the 5th season. What I just showed you was season 8, but like right around the 5th season. Might have been the 4th season too. We get some different DC superheroes, and it was just a great series. Next one that I got to talk to you about is Monk. Monk is like a cozy series, a mystery. If you don't know what it's about this man named Adrian Monk, who is a brilliant detective, but he suffers from extreme, and that's an understatement, extreme obsessive compulsive disorder. He has fears upon fears. He has a fear for fear, but he's brilliant. And the story is his wife is murdered, and it's the one case he can't solve. And the series is just, it's a great look at, like, you know, how somebody who feels that way goes through life, and it's very funny. And if you're into mysteries, it's a great whodunit series, and you know, it's one of my favorite TV series. Again, it's kind of like Glee in the sense of, you know, if you've ever felt like an outcast or an outsider, you know, you can relate to him. And they recently just did a movie that I'm going to be picking up here soon with like a reunion movie, because the series went on for 8 seasons, called Mr. Monk's Last Case. I believe you can still stream it on Peacock, but it was brilliant. It makes me want them to do a revival of that series. Next up, we have True Blood. True Blood was a very popular series when it aired. A lot of people didn't like later seasons. The first season is amazing, in my opinion. Definitely give it a shot. It went on for 7 seasons, I believe. And over here I've got, well, you just saw season 1, and I've got season 2, 3, and 7 here on DVD. I showed you the rest that I have that was on Blu-ray. Next, we have Tales from the Crypt. This is a classic series that I grew up with. Tales from the Crypt, let's be honest, Tales from the Crypt is an amazing series. It was an anthology series on HBO where they would tell different horror stories. It's based off the comic book. Comic books I've never gotten to read, but Tales from the Crypt definitely had some classic stories that were just amazing. Spawn 2 movies. And they're like 20 minutes or a half an hour a piece, so they go kind of quick. You got to give Tales from the Crypt a shot. They still kind of hold up, even though they might be a little bit dated. Next up, The Vampire Diaries. I have not watched my copies of Vampire Diaries at all. This is a CW show. It's a little bit drama, well, a lot of drama. I mean, The Vampire Diaries kind of makes you think more drama than what it really is, to be honest. They have some good horror, good action. A very good show. Lasted for 8 years, I believe. I don't have all of them on DVD, but this was a very popular show for a while for the CW. And it led to a few spin-offs that the most recent spin-off Legacies just ended a few years ago. But Vampire Diaries, don't let the name fool you. It is pretty good. I have the Americans. I picked these up. I wanted to see them. Haven't gotten a chance to. But it's got Kerry Russell, and it's in one of those shows that will probably fit very well into some current events. The Boondocks. You guys should see the Boondocks. It's definitely not for kids. It's animated. It's for adults. It's like an R-rated Simpsons, but with culture commentary. The first 3 seasons are amazing. The 4th one is kind of a letdown. It's just not as good as the other ones. And I know they were talking about doing a 5th season, but one of the actors did pass away, unfortunately. But my favorite character, Uncle Ruckus. Next, we got The Chappelle Show. These are great. Definitely pick these up. This was like brilliant sketch comedy that Dave Chappelle did. I'm sure you've heard of The Chappelle Show, but if you haven't, do check it out. They should be widely available on DVD still. I would even go so far as to say it's technically the lost episodes is like the 3rd season that they brought back. I'm sure you've heard that he famously quit. There is still some of the funniest stuff in here that you should check out. The lost episodes are amazing. Another series that I do love is Wild 'N Out, and this is the first season, and I believe the only season, that they have released on DVD. They say it's uncensored. It's really not uncensored. Wild 'N Out is in 20 years of improv comedy, and that says something about the legacy of the show and how long it lasts and how funny it is. You definitely got to see it. Nick Cannon hosts it, and it's got a lot of comedians in there that you'll recognize, like Cat Williams and Kevin Hart, before he was super uber popular. Before I put that away, since I can't seem to put it away one-handed, I'll show you this series of Darkwing Duck. Disney and I have issues, but Darkwing Duck will remain a love of mine. From when I was 8 years old, I remember watching Darkwing Duck. And, I kind of wish that this is the volume 1, includes the pilot. I wish they had can put all the episodes out on DVD because I would have picked it up, but they didn't. And you know, it is what it is. But it's not worth me getting Disney Plus for it. But that is all of the TV shows I have on DVD. There's one more that we'll cover that you guys probably already figured out what it is. And finally, we have my shelf of Power Rangers. This is the complete series that they've released on DVD. If you're not in the know, Hasbro recently purchased... It's always hard to get these out one at a time. But anyway, there we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the box set. This, I believe, is still in print. So if you see this set and you want to pick it up, it might have some different artwork, but it's the same set. What's cool about this is they have a disc of bonus features on here, so I picked it up. But the rest of these are out of print, and therefore I can't watch them because it'd be like opening up a collectible. So this has, you know, Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy. But a company recently acquired Power Rangers, and they no longer put them out on DVD because they don't believe in physical media. So the last few seasons of Power Rangers are not out on DVD, unfortunately. But 8 through 12, I did buy this used, so it's already open, so I can watch these. But Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, and Dino Thunder. And then... see that? And then we got SPD, Mystic Force, Operation Overdrive, Jungle Fury, RPM. And then there are some over here like Samurai. You know, I haven't watched my copy, but it's out of print, so I'm not going to watch my copy of this. Super Samurai I have on Blu-ray. We talked about that already. Mega Force, which was a season that a lot of people hated. And Super Mega Force. This was an anniversary season. And then, let's see over here. Dino Charge. And then... let's see, these are 2 volumes of Dino Supercharge. They do come in a 1 box set thing that I probably should have picked up, but never got around to it. And then Ninja Steel. I love the artwork on this. I always thought that was a pretty cool piece of artwork. And then Super Ninja Steel. Still cool, not as cool as the artwork for Ninja Steel. But yeah, guys, that is my physical media collection. Now let's head to the bunker, and I'll give you some closing words. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed watching me go through my physical media collection. It was fun to do. This is a video I've wanted to make for a very long time, and I finally got to do it. One piece that I did forget to show you guys was my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Complete Series box set in the Turtle Van from, well, it's the 1987 series, so the original animated series, but all 10 seasons and 23 DVDs. This is something that is, yet again, something I can't open or watch because it's out of print now and worth money. So, there you go. But that's the last piece of the collection, and with that, once again, hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure showing you, and with that being said, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the social media things. Help me fight the YouTube algorithm. Ring the bell. Be sure to check out thewellroundeddude.com. The website is really the hub of everything we do here. You'll find some offers from the brand partners we've made over the years, some links to old videos. You'll even find the link to our Amazon storefront where I've curated some items. So sometimes stuff like this will pop up on there, or you get to see just cool items that I think will help you out in your everyday life, or if you're into pop culture, looking for a good movie, you'll find that stuff there too, even good books to read. And our merch page is also on the website. You'll be able to find Well-Rounded Dude merchandise and save a bit with the discount code DUDE15. So with that, we will see you guys next time. Promise you it'll be a shorter video. And I hope you take care. Enjoy the movies. Enjoy physical media. It's very important to our society as a whole. But definitely go watch a movie. Enjoy. Maybe you got an idea from one of these videos. And we will see you next time. Peace.